Guess what day it is?
I think it's Tuesday.
It is Torture Day.
Torture Day, wow, okay.
It's like Tuesday, but it's a lot more fun because we get to destroy a whole lot of rifle lights.
What do we have in the queue today?
We've got the Cloud Defensive Rain 1, 2, and 3.
We've got the Streamlight ProTac 2.0. We've got the HRT AWLS, and what else?
We've got the Mod Light with the OKW head. We've got the Battle Torch V3,
Yes.
which is so much better than the V2.
Yes.
Of course, I've never looked at the V2. The O-Light Javelot TAC.
Right?
And the Surefire Scout Light Pro Turbo.
Yes.
Yes, that thing.
Pro with the turbo head, yes.
I think that all these lights should hold up super well, but we're gonna run them through tests from easier to harder, culminating in the final destruction test, and hopefully we end up with a clear winner. Now, if you're curious how these lights perform in our lab testing, we have videos for all of these lights available or will be out shortly. In addition, you can find specs at lowlightdefense.com. Now, if you're wondering if any of these light manufacturers sponsor us, the answer is no. At Werkz, we believe that dark times call for light-bearing holsters. We make precision fit holsters for pistols with lights. I invite you to check out the lineup at werkz.com and see if we've got something that will fit your needs. Now, the setup for the first test is we've got all the lights mounted. We've got batteries inside. Unlike the last time, we're not gonna run them during the test because some of the lights will get blasted with heat. But once we're done, we're gonna see if any of the lights fell apart internally and no longer work. So we're gonna run the vibration tester for an hour and a half. All right, let's go for it.
There we go. We're gonna go do other things here and see what happens when we come back.
All right, let's see. Light one works. What? What's going on here?
Wow, no way, did the ProTac fail? Here's the O-Light. O-Light works good.
What about these? I can't get my finger in there.
Mod Light works. Rain 1.0 works great. Rain 2.0, that works. Okay, so the mystery here is the Streamlight.
Is it maybe a battery?
Battery failure, the contact points or something?
So we're gonna go ahead and we're going to take this battery out. Go ahead and grab this. Let's go continue with our testing.
All right, we got 9 lights here in the mister. We're gonna turn them on and let it run for 15 minutes.
Let me turn them on and we'll just start going. Turn it on.
Wow.
You ready?
All right, let's see the damage. Wow.
That's pretty cool. They're all still working.
They're all working just fine.
You can see the steam rising.
Well, as we expected, everything survived that.
Let's go torture test them some more. Immerse them.
All right, how about we see how these lights do in a little bit more water?
Let's do it. Let's dunk them.
Let's dunk them. Is that about the right height?
That looks good to me. Let's do it. That's pretty cool. Actually, it's probably better from a video standpoint too.
All right, since the O-Light does not have a water-resistant tail cap, we'll keep all of the tail caps out so it's got a fighting chance.
Oh yeah, I just saw a bubble come up from here.
Oh.
Let's turn them off for 10 minutes and then turn them on. So let's go through these one by one, dry them off, make sure they work, and then open it up, see if there's any water inside. Let's start with the Rain 1.
Yeah,
Of
works
course.
great. Nothing made its way into the reflector.
Yeah, it looks dry.
Rain 2.0. Works great. Rain 2.0 passes. Sorry, that's the 3.0 that passed.
Ah.
Now we're looking at the 2.0. Great. Rain 2.0 passes. Yeah, no problems at all. Totally dry.
Mod light.
Mod light looks totally dry.
HRT.
HRT AWLS passes.
Streamlight.
Totally dry down in there.
Surefire.
Great. So Streamlight and Surefire both pass. Battle Torch look good.
Battle Torch, well, we'll find out.
Totally dry in there. So now we know that these lights can handle a little bit of submersion. We didn't go too crazy with it because we didn't want to destroy anything too early, but for now, that's totally acceptable.
Yeah, and then we'll go ahead and tumble these, see how well they do with just a little bit of light impact and a bunch of abrasion.
Well, we don't have the time to exactly run these lights for years on our rifles and see how the finishes hold up. So how about we run them through this tumbler with the stainless media all at once and see how they hold up.
Okay, let's dump them in.
Alrighty. All right.
Goodbye, lights.
Okay, well.
We'll give it a shot. I think we let it go for an hour.
Alrighty.
I think that was over an hour and a half. Ooh, it's warm.
Is it?
It actually is a little bit warm.
Battle Torch V3.
It is.
Wow.
Battle worn.
It is actually. Yeah, you can certainly see the finish is pretty well scuffed up there. Not that bad though, all things considered. That OKW looks significantly more worn.
It's definitely more worn than the Surefire.
Man,
right?
I'm wondering if I should put some of my handhelds through this.
I think overall, actually, all of them fared fairly well. I think we're in agreement, so we kind of stacked these in terms of best as far as resisting finish wear to worst. And the clouds stood out as kind of the finishes held up some of the best.
Down the line to the HRT here, for being a black light, it held up really pretty dang well. That looks a bit foggier than when it went in.
It does look a little bit foggier.
Huh.
The Streamlight kind of mid-pack, there's a number of scratches and there's wear at the edges. And then we end up with kind of the ones that didn't fare as well. Now these are, again, this is just cosmetic finish wear.
Right.
All these lights still work. Kind of a surprise that the mod light ended up with a lot more of that finish wear. What about the O-light?
A lot of the laser etching is significantly faded as to when we put it in at the beginning. I mean, function is obviously still fine, but yeah, with that black body, you get a lot more of the gouges showing.
Well, we've taken it easy on these lights. I think we start beating up on them. We need to simulate what happens if you drop one of these lights on the bezel. Say it's mounted to a rifle. Okay, it fell onto the concrete floor. Let's go simulate that.
Okay, Shan, what sort of torture contraption do you have here?
Well, so we rigged up a length of rail and we put it on some black pipe. And now we're just going to use that so that we can precisely drop it on the bezel. Now, I got no idea. We've never tried this before. I got no idea how well this is going to work, if things are going to blow up, or if the rail will even break. So we'll have to see. Are we ready?
Let's do it. Turn that light on.
There's your sound effect. Dang.
It's a lot bouncier than I expected.
It's
flicker. You see that?
I did not.
Yeah, it cut out for a second.
That was run 5.
Oh no. Oh, whoa.
Let's, I think the switch is wonky, which is the weirdest thing. Why don't we take this off the rail?
The reflector is broken. Just angle it towards the light. You can actually see the reflector.
Yeah.
And the glass has started to break right at the bottom there, I think. Wow.
You can see him at the very bottom. The mount,
It looks bent.
it's bent and angled.
Let's see, we'll get this kind of tightened down here to get everything in parallel, but I think you can see a bend there, which is not surprising.
The switch felt weird when I hit it,
Yeah, it was kind of, okay.
but it's working now. Here's the Rain 2.0. Let's see how she does.
Turn on.
Oh man, I forgot to turn it on.
Forgot to turn on.
Let's see if it turns on. It turned on. Let's go number 2. Look at this.
Oh, it stepped down.
It's flicky up and down. Oh, wow. Up and down. So that was 3. Number 4.
Wow, it actually did pretty well that time. The whole rail rotated to the side.
Yep, it did. Let's do number 5. Oh!
Look, the LED's on still.
So we can see actually the lens did break on the side that it was falling on.
So the 2.0, after we took it apart and reassembled it, it looks like it's working just fine, although as you can see, we do have a little bit of breakage from the lens, but other than that, it seems good to go. Here's the Rain 3.0. One, 2. Number 4. Number 5. There was a little bit of flicker.
Okay, so Rain 3.0, it actually survived all 5 drops without turning off, and everything seems to be working flawlessly. And I don't even see anything broken off in the bezel like during the other tests. So that's a total win.
Yeah, robust construction.
Yeah.
Dreamlight ProTac 2.0, drop number 1. So brutal. Four. 5.
Well, the Streamlight took the beating remarkably well, I'd say. Yeah, definite pass on the Streamlight. All right, so we've got the Surefire Scoutlight Pro with that turbo head on there. This one mounts a little differently, so I'm going to be curious to see how that mount holds up.
At this point, 3 drops, you can see that the light is no longer in line with the rail. And number 5. But no flicker.
Surefire Scoutlight Pro, we did see things kind of migrate as we were doing the drop tests. We can't quite tell if anything was permanently bent in the rail or if it was just kind of loosening or migrating. And I don't see anything floating around in the reflector. I hardly even see signs that it was dropped at all. So I'm still a little skeptical about the rail mount, but overall it did hold up for this
Yep,
test.
it held up pretty well. The rail mount's potentially a little bit more fragile than some of the others. Olight Javelot Tack. It looks like it's pointing upward now too. Well, that's your favorite light right there, right, Cole?
Well, this is my favorite light.
Actually, it's not so bad.
It seemed to hold up totally fine. There is a bit of bending or movement there for sure.
Mod light. Lens looks good. Everything's held together.
It's just rotated the mount.
Number 2. Oh yeah, that was better. So I'm kind of rooting for the HRT AWLS. It has done very well on the drop test. I don't see any problems, except for it looks like out of the last test, it does have moisture intrusion, which is kind of a pain.
The grand finale, the Tacticon Battletorch V3.
I'm really hoping one of these lights falls apart. This one would work for me. Let's go.
So the Tacticon Battletorch V3 looks like it held up just about perfect.
So out of this, the only one that kind of gave us pause was the very first Cloud Defensive Rain 1. Had some damage internal.
Right.
Had some floaty pieces. Everything else actually did pretty well. Of course, notably, the HRT AWLS had the moisture intrusion, but that was from a previous test that we just discovered here. So let's start dropping these things on their bezels directly on concrete, and let's see if we can get some of them to break. Go for it. Rain 1, let's drop it on its bezel. Oh.
Oh.
Ah.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, let's.
I got this tail a little tighter. Okay, so it looks like on that first test, things were just loosened up a bit too much.
Great,
Stop
let's
working.
move on.
Rain 2.0. Oh. Okay, shattered lens.
Oh.
Well, Mercy Rule should have stopped us here, but it didn't. Rain 3.0, let's give it 10 drops. Lens is totally fine. Clouds are picky on their torque, but everything tightened down, it's working great. It's a bit dinged up, but still working just fine.
We've got a sledgehammer somewhere. So disappointing, they're all working.
And we've pretty successfully removed the lens.
It's all cracked up, which means that the output is much diminished.
This is a totally unsafe battery now. Well, we've got the dewdrops collecting towards the end of the lens there. Battletorch held up great. We got to get rougher on these lights.
I think it becomes less scientific at this point. Either we run them over with a forklift or we beat them with a sledgehammer.
Oh! Oh my gosh.
That smells like more than broken glass. That smells like stuff that's about ready to... An extra for Olight.
I think this 3.0 has failed.
These are out. How are we doing, Mr. Modlight? Looks like you're still in the running. Surefire. Oh.
Wow, look at the Surefire's battery.
Looks perfect. I got it. Yeah, I know. You're stepping down because your battery's low. Bye-bye.
What do you say we give him the Idaho special?
What's the Idaho special?
Come on, let me show you.
It's still working. Now that had some force. The potato killed it. Oh! It still works! Oh, that was perfect.
The LED's still trying to print on?
I think that does it too. So what, if anything, did we learn today other than spud guns are extremely sketchy? I think all these lights perform spectacularly, and I think that it's just amazing how good a set of products that we have from all these manufacturers. I think that there were a couple of disappointments for me. One was this light had some moisture intrusion.
Right.
The mod light seemed to destroy its battery in the process of being dropped on the bezel. And then that Rain 2 was kind of sketchy off and on through some of the testing.
Right. Yeah, the Cloud Defensive series of lights had issues with battery contact that were kind of weird, right? And we had to really make sure that they were super tight for them to work properly.
The Streamlight has the build quality that we expect out of Streamlight. It was really close to indestructible, and it was, you know, I think we finally got it to fail shooting it out of the potato cannon.
But we did have that problem with that battery no longer acting the way it should. Remember, we swapped the battery with another one. That was the only way we got it to work. So even the Streamlight had something funky going on with that original battery.
That's right. So that's a knock against it. You know, the AWLS, really robust build quality, obviously withstood the potato cannon multiple shots, as well as the sledgehammer and the drop and everything else. I think we do have a winner, but it could have just as easily been any of the other lights, I think. Could have survived to this point. They all seem to do very well.
I personally was very impressed with the mod light and how it held up. You know, the finish didn't hold up as well, but that's not a primary concern to me. The big deal to me was when the light was bent at a 15 or 20 degree angle and was still running until the very end. That was very impressive.
Which of these lights impressed you the most? Which of these would you or do you run? Leave a comment down below. We love to hear from all of you on what you're running and how. We're not sponsored by anybody, but I do have friends over at the American Warrior Society, Rich and Mike. If you're looking for a great resource on training, whether it's rifle training, whether it's low light training, please check out AmericanWarriorSociety.com. We'll drop a link down below as well. I think we bring that to SHOT Show if HRT's got a booth there. Thanks so much for watching. Have a blessed day.